All right, here's Blake Baratz, a long-time card-carrying member of the Love Covenant. I'm going to call him an agent. He's going to correct me with a different title, but nevertheless, he is some form of a sports agent with Institute for Athletes, and he joins us in studio now. Blake Baratz, the agent, or Blake Baratz, the what? And good morning.
Good morning, PA. Whatever you want to call me works for me.
Last time we chatted,
I guess I'm an agent by trade. I don't know. I'm a life manager, advisor, marriage counselor, real estate agent. I don't know what I am anymore.
That ain't bad, though. I mean, holy cow, one falls off. You got 5 other on which to fall. And Maxwell Fuller over there is looking for a job, so maybe he can help you with the
perfect
marriage counseling portion of the equation. All right, 3-2. Tell us about Team IFA and what you guys do.
What do we do? So we are a NFL management company. Mm-hmm. So it's a traditional agency. So we negotiate NFL contracts on our players' behalf with NFL teams. We do all of the marketing and brand partnerships off the field. We lead most of the philanthropic initiatives. A lot of client servicing, and now with NIL, it's dipped down. It's just gotten younger. So we probably have 25 or 30 collegiate players around the country, from Michigan to Alabama to Texas to Duke. I don't know, maybe have 4 or 5 high school players now. It's the same. So conceptually, we're doing the same thing. It's just going further downstream, and the timelines change. And I already didn't have a life. Now I have less of a life. And yeah, like we're trying to help in all areas that we can help in. So whether we can do it internally or we outsource it, the more we can help these young men navigate life and help their families and be financially stable and be doing the right thing and being great men on and off the field and growing and maturing. And that's the goal. That's a full-time job.
With IFA under your leadership forever, but just the team IFA, what makes it a brotherhood?
I think we've really stuck to our mission of really dialing and helping these men and families in their life. And I think that gets ignored in this business a lot. We just haven't moved the goalposts. We've stuck to how we do things, and we want high character guys and mature guys and expect them to be self-aware and expect them to communicate well and work as hard as they can. And we're not looking for guys, we're not asking guys to go to the Hall of Fame. We're asking them to, stick to those things, and we're going to bust our tail to help in all the different areas that we can. And I don't want to overcomplicate it. I don't want to oversimplify it. We're not curing cancer. We're not sending people to Mars. We're just really good at our job, and we have all the relationships, and we're very transparent. And if the other side of the coin instills those things, then we can go accomplish things. And if we can't do stuff, we're going to say we can't do stuff. It's not, there's a lot of BS in this space. So once you weed through the BS or different agendas or different motives, you can cut to the chase pretty quickly and do great work for the Adam Thielens or the CJ Hams or the Blake Cashmans, because they appreciate it. Everyone's going to work.
Blake is the president and founder of Team IFA, at Team IFA via X, or at Blake Baratz via X, Baratz. Somebody I and we around here have known for quite some time. And when it comes to clients, you just mentioned the representation of Adam Thielen, CJ Ham, and Blake Cashman, and so many more. How do you secure clients to represent, and how competitive is that part of the deal? I mean, I guess now, I'm going to leave high school out of it. I guess with name, image, and likeness with college football, I would imagine it's just become more of a Shark Tank, right?
Yeah. I think 98% of our clients are coming from referrals. So whether it's a current client, a coach at a school, an athletic director, a position coach, it's mostly referrals. We're not really cold calling players or waiting outside their locker room or doing all these crazy things. And NIL's been good. It opened up a new pool of talent. But it's still the wild, wild west, and there's a significant lack of education in the space, both on the team side and the player side. And there's a lot of misinformation. So everyone's reading a bunch of stuff or hearing from their teammate, or I don't need an agent, I can just go do this. And in fact, it's really complicated at the collegiate level because everyone's operating differently. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have the relationships with the GMs at every school or the head coaches or the offensive coordinators to get the real information, it's impossible to do the job.
Well, how does that work? I mean, that's a wonderful point, because not every school has a Mike Lombardi at North Carolina. And whether Mike does good work or bad work, he's an identifiable GM for a program. So say you represent somebody at a school that doesn't have somebody in that role. They got their budget. They want to drop this here, and you're going to try to negotiate it to another number. Like, how does that work?
I think it starts with just like gathering the information. Because like if a player decides, hey, I've whittled my process down to Duke and SMU and TCU and LSU, and this is what they've told me. A lot of times what the coaches are telling them isn't really true. Or maybe the GM and the coach aren't on the same page. Or maybe they're telling you you're the guy and you're the sixth guy that they're recruiting. So we have to go in and just cut to the chase and get the information. It's not really about just negotiating more dollars. It's gathering the information and laying it out for the family so they're actually comparing apples to apples. So if you want to go to Washington, they're only going to keep your spot open at Washington until July 1st. So if you think you're going to drag this into October, no problem. You may lose your opportunity at Washington, and Washington's going to pay you $500,000 a year, and Michigan's going to pay you $400,000 a year, and this receivers coach you really liked and fits your scheme well, and they don't have any other 27 receivers. You really break it down the same way we're breaking down NFL free agency. It's just a little more complicated because there's a lot more schools. There really isn't a proper allocation of dollars. You have all these kind of NIL agents that aren't even certified. They don't know what they're doing. There's just and then a lot of times, there's the college programs don't really know what they're doing yet because it's so new to them. I think they're catching up and they're having more NFL type of front offices where you have talent evaluators and the proper medicals and proper schematic fits, and there's a hierarchy. But if you're just trying to throw everything at the wall and seeing what sticks, you're betting on the wrong guys, you're going to get left behind.
So if you have a college player who wants to transfer, and with the NCAA basketball tournament taking place now, it just amazes me every year. Where I don't follow this stuff closely, man, but this guard will go for 27 for a team, and then you'll hear the box or the analyst say, "Oh yeah, last year he won a championship with the Florida Gators." And I'm like, damn. And he transferred, and then he started at SMU, then he went to VCU, then he was a star with the Gators, and now he's with Arizona. So when it comes to the transfers and the NIL to the side, but the transfers, you're involved in that too, right? I mean, from if anything, 100%. From a council standpoint, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, the idea is I don't really want guys to transfer. So if you're going to transfer, it's how you chose the school. Did you choose based on your priorities? What's important to you? Is winning important to you? Is playing outside important to you? Is compensation important to you? Is playing early important to you? Is playing in a Power 4 conference important to you? Whatever your priorities are, you got to start there. And your priorities should hopefully, in a perfect world, align with the compensation. But that doesn't always happen. So if you're going to leave, why are you leaving? Is it just because you want to make more money somewhere else? Is it because your coach left? Is it because you don't like the scheme? Is it because you don't like the academics? Is it you want to be closer to home? Once you identify what your priorities are and there's a legitimate reason for leaving, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just got to be communicated properly to coaches and other programs. Communication is a lot of the problem in this space. Like, kids don't communicate, families don't communicate, a lot of agents don't communicate. Like, if everyone just puts the cards on the table and is being fair and reasonable, it isn't that hard to accomplish the task. If everyone is being dishonest, it makes it a lot harder.
And Double B, it's changed how teams draft players. In that, now they're going to, it's not they need to, I know they do. Like, okay, well, let's get in the weeds here as to why he left here. Why did he leave here? They do all the background stuff and the sneaky chats with the background with agents and everything. So there could be a little problem that nobody knows about, or maybe there's not. And the person has wanderlust, and some teams don't necessarily want players like that on their team.
100%. Yeah, 100%.
Blake Baratz, Team IFA at Team IFA via X, if you'd like to learn more. Represented Adam Thielen and CJ Ham all of their careers. And there was a retirement celebration for them last week at Twin Cities Orthopedics Performance Center. The first and foremost, the team, with the way they set up the Vikings Entertainment Network. Wow. I mean, that was so beautiful. You were there with your family. And I saw your family was there,
Yep.
right? Yeah. Your daughters?
One daughter, one son, and my wife.
Okay. Got it. And CJ's family was there likewise for Adams. What a day. What a couple of guys. But didn't you sense when they were both chatting that, I mean, the what's next plan is not easy. It can be daunting for those who have, they're creatures of habit, and routine is good for a lot of people. And sometimes that's all they know. But instead of being good at a lot of things, they become great at certain things. But Adam was like, all right, so, I played golf last week. I'm taking a golf lesson. I think I have my second golf lesson coming up next week, and I'm going to do this with the kids. And how do you help them with that segue from the adrenaline, the intensity, the competitiveness, the brotherhood that is the locker room to now it's quiet?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's with every guy, and those guys specifically, it's been on their mind or conversation for a while, and they've started to get more involved in different things in the off season and their foundation and different businesses, and talk about it with the family with the understanding of nothing's going to replace the locker room, nothing's going to replace Sundays, and when you decide to make that decision, really give it considerable thought, because you don't ever want to have regrets. And they're so personable, they're so philanthropic, they're faith-based, they got great families. Everyone in town wants to spend time with them and meet them. Every opportunity is at their fingertips.
That's great.
And they don't have to figure it out tomorrow.
Yeah.
But
you help with that.
Of course.
That's awesome.
It's also just enjoy some of this time, because you missed a lot of weekends with your kids. You missed a lot of opportunities, and not business opportunities, just life opportunities. And you're still really young in the real world, even though you think you're old in the NFL world. So enjoy it. You don't have to figure it out tomorrow. Spend time, what areas you like to be in. Adam wants to take all these meetings now. He didn't want to take meetings 2 years ago. So it's great. And you don't have you're not making decisions for the rest of your life tomorrow. You're just dabbling and seeing what interests you, and it's great. So
that's terrific. And with Adam and CJ, and did you represent Marcus Sherrills?
I did not.
Okay, but he's in this mix where you would know more about this than me. With all the pro sports, the NFL is really the only one where you can come from under the cover of darkness, have to audition, work out just to get part of the rookie camp. You're not invited, but you earn your way there. Then the practice squad and that 90, 100, 110K that comes with it or whatever. But you're in the chat, as the kids would say. You're on the team. And then to have the careers they had. The NFL's the only pro sports league that does that.
Yeah, it's crazy. I was telling Brzezinski the other day, there should be a 30 for 30 on this, because this may never happen again. It's certainly never going to happen again in my career. But to have both those guys play against each other in high school and be the last guy on the roster coming in, and then make the roster, and then play well and stay healthy at the right times and go to Pro Bowls and Walter Payton Men of the Year, and then be best friends and work out in the off season and retire Vikings. That's so storybook.
Agreed.
You can't, that'll never happen again. That's I don't know, winning a lottery ticket, then buying another lottery ticket, winning again or something. I don't know.
Somebody actually did that, a former football player. Google this.
Really?
Do you remember the name Thomas Hollywood Henderson?
No.
He was a linebacker for the Dallas Cowboys back when they were going to the Super Bowl with Tom Landry, Staubach, and Dorsett and that group. I'm not sure about Tony Dorsett, but Hollywood Henderson left the NFL. Drugs were involved. It was bad. Okay, he was a good player. In Texas, played the lottery, hit it.
No way.
For tens of millions. Played it again later that year, hit it again.
No way.
Yeah, Thomas Hollywood Henderson. You can go ahead and Google
I'm going to
that.
look this up. That's insane.
I ain't lying to you. Hey, you mentioned the name Rob Brzezinski, the acting general manager for the Minnesota Vikings. Do you, I'm going to ask you, not like you to speak for all agents. Do you become friends with GMs and coaches, or is that a no-no, giving you maybe in a dogfight negotiation battle someday with them?
I do. I don't know how everyone else operates. I consider Rob and I really close. We talk personally, professionally. I love Rob. That doesn't mean I love every GM, but I have no issue being friends with them, because I think the more transparent, honest, and credible you are in life, whether it's whatever job you're in, you can speak freely. And like, I respect Rob and what he does, just like I did Kwesi or Rick or whoever, or George Payton, whoever was in the role. We can disagree at times, but like, I respect what their job is, and I think they respect what my job is. And like, I'm not going in there and BSing. Like, I'm just telling them the truth, the same way I would talk to my wife, or the same way I talk to UPA. Like, we can disagree, but like, you're not getting nonsense out of me. And if there's not nonsense, you can actually respect each other, and I don't take it personally. Like, there's business decisions. Like, I didn't want Jonathan Allen to be released. You know, like, he got released. That was a decision the team made for different reasons.
Or you squeezed Rob.
No, I didn't squeeze Rob at all. I wanted more Vikings. I got guys retiring. I got guys getting cut. I got to replenish the Vikings cupboard. It's empty.
You're awesome. You're so great, man. Blake Baratz, 9 to noon. A few quickies to close here. I don't know what you're doing next week or whatever, but like up to the draft, I'd like you to stop by.
Love to.
Frequently, because there's so many things to talk about, specifically with the owners' meetings next week. Now, IFA, were you doing what you do? It's multiple decades now, right? 20 some odd years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, I'm old.
So you've seen a lot for a long time. In your estimation, what makes a good general manager?
To me, I think a good general manager is one that can predominantly check their ego at the door, be self-aware, understand what they're good at and not good at, communicate well, and lay out the vision for the program, whether it's the program or the NFL organization. And they don't have to be the smartest guy in the room. They don't have to get all the credit. What they have to do is put the right people in the right places. So call it being the CEO. If you're a great talent evaluator, then that should be your skill set, and you should hand off other stuff to other people. If you're a great, salary cap guru, then get the business and the finances in order and hire the right people to evaluate talent, and let them go do their jobs. That's what I think.
Lastly, with Thielen and CJ Ham retiring, you got Blake Cashman in the stable, and he's been awesome for the Minnesota Vikings. Better for the Vikings than he was with the Texans, and he was good with the Texans. But you've added some new players to IFA. And one of them is low-key one of my favorite underrated players in the NFL. And audience probably doesn't like hearing it. He's a Green Bay Packer. He's a linebacker named Edgerrin Cooper. And he went to Texas A&M, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. And I remember talking to O'Connell and I think Wes Phillips about him a couple of years ago. I mean, he was a demon on wheels. Holy cow, he was unbelievable. Yeah. Hafley comes in, he's the defensive coordinator. Well, I mean, Jeff's extremely gifted, or he wouldn't become the new head coach of the Miami Dolphins. But there are going to be changes. Now we got Rashawn Gary with his hand in the grass. It's not hitting for whatever the reason. It just changed. Micah comes in, the whole thing changed. But with your guy, Edgerrin, it was fascinating watching him last year because he didn't have the sacks or the tackles for loss that he did the year before. So clearly, he's playing a different role to help them now with Micah. But whatever he pushed through to change games, because he changes games, he's really, really good, but he's still super underrated. How do you get somebody like that in your stable, and what do you think of his game?
He got referred to us by mutual relationship. He was looking for new representation, and I think he's one of the best young linebackers in football. To everything that you just said,
me too.
He's smart. He gets it. He can get everybody lined up. He's athletic. I think the question now is like, do you put guys like that? Do you have them wear the green dot and get everybody lined up and be responsible for everybody, or do you find other people that can do that so he can roam? That's kind of the age-old question that a lot of teams struggle with, is like, do you want your best players, your most athletic players, to also be calling the defense because you're so, like even Cashman here, he's responsible for a lot of other things independent of what Blake Cashman does. And you have to have people that are selfless. You have to be people that listen. You have people that communicate really well in heat of the moment, situations. And that's not easy. And it's complicated defense. So, that's the age-old question. Like, if he had Quay Walker, was it Quay Walker last year?
Quay Walker and Igbari.
And he just left via free agency, so he had the green dot last year. He went to the Raiders, I believe.
Yeah, it was Quay.
Yeah, so I don't know what they're going to do moving forward, but those are good problems to have when you have really talented players that are also mature, that are also intelligent, that can also call the defense and get everybody lined up if you need them to. It's a luxury.
Come by next week if you get a chance, okay?
Well, next week I'm on spring break with the kids.
All right. Well,
so I won't be able to do that. Well, I can do it via the phone.
I'm playing. I wouldn't do that to you.
We can do it via the phone. Otherwise, the following week I'll be back.
You are fantastic. Great catching up at the Combine and the retirement ceremony. God bless you and your family, and I'll see you soon.
You too, man. You're the man. Thank you.
Blake Baratz, Institute for Athletes, Team IFA. Back after that. Wolves and Rockets tonight. Chris Finch talked about the Wolves and the Rockets earlier this show. We began chatting about Bones Highland in his game at Boston.
Well, I think, Bones is a hardwired scorer, and he can really put the ball in the basket. He can do it in a variety of ways. He plays with great pace, and, he's really been kind of the guy to pick up the scoring where we're missing Anthony. And he's not only just done it with, good scoring numbers, but he's also done it with timely scoring. Like, he's come in off the bench and really kind of given us a jolt when perhaps we've, struggled to score coming out of the gate. So I think that's like the biggest thing. And then, throughout a long run, he's playing kind of long shifts right now. And, he'll have multiple, spots during that shift where he'll score. But I really love what he's doing with just the pace in general, and the chemistry that he has with Io right now is pretty high level for being so new together.
I was going to get to that. It's being so new together for sure. It's just high level. How confidently and cohesively those two play together. And, Sunday at Boston, I know Nas missed that Friday night game against Portland, and, it's a conversation for a different time. Nas Reed and his ferocity on Sunday, how about that? He played with his hair on fire.
Yeah, he was awesome. He struggled early on as expected. You missed a couple games in the NBA, and you're surprised how rusty you get. You're coming back into a race where everyone's going 100 miles an hour, and you're trying to get up to speed. But he kept sticking with it. Everything he did was aggressive. Then he caught his little run just right when we needed it most. I thought he's done that a couple times. We had a big game in Denver a few weeks earlier. You were there, and he kind of struggled early, and then caught fire late, and was kind of the difference maker offensively for us.
Coach Finch, you've been harping on them a bit to rebound better, and Ayo Dosunmu clearly was listening, man. 8 boards a game the last 4. 8 boards a game the last 4. In what ways does that help you guys win games?
Well, our defense, our first shot defense is a top 5 defense in the league. Our defense overall has fallen to kind of 8-9 range, which is, it's largely just being drugged down by our inability to rebound consistently. And, Rudy off the floor, we've really struggled at times. And when I've always maintained that, like, when you're never going to be a really good rebounder until your guards are great rebounders, just because the nature of the game right now is so many long shots, threes, long rebounds, people crashing from the perimeter in waves more so than they ever have done in the past. So your guards got to join the rebounding party.
Jaden McDaniels has 56 shots the last 4 games. 56 the last 4. He had 62 shots the 8 previous. He's made 7 threes the last 4, and that's more than he made the last month of games. Is Jaden McDaniels playing as freely right now as you've seen maybe since that Denver win where I saw you a few weeks ago?
Oh yeah, I think right now, he didn't shoot the ball well coming out of the gate in Boston, but I think just knowing the ball was going to keep coming his direction and sticking with it, and he made a really big one out of a timeout. Three out of timeout that we desperately needed to go in, and he needed to see it go in too, and that kind of got his mind right. And he's playing really good offensive basketball right now. He's playing great at both ends, as he always does.
Any idea when Anthony comes back?
Nothing definite yet. I think tomorrow we get another update. So
he was out there on the court shooting. I think I saw on the social media machine. Right, that's a good step.
Yeah, absolutely. He's out there. he's started his return to play protocol. So yeah, he's definitely out there doing some basketball things.
And speaking of that, speaking of him, last week we talked about Edwards watching things from afar and maybe seeing some eye-opening stuff. Is it fair to say when the ancillary players you have are more involved, things are at their best, not only for Anthony, but for the team?
I think you could say that for any team,
right.
For sure. Like, I'm just a huge believer in that, everybody, basketball's a highly connected sport. Everybody's got to be a part of what we're doing. I think 5 guys work for one shot every single time down. I think that everyone has a part to play, whether it be, spacing, moving, cutting, screening, passing to each other. All that stuff matters. I think what we need to maintain when Anthony comes back is our pace is really good right now. Early movement is really good right now. And, these are things that we've done with him as well. Consistently at this time to develop that rhythm that we'll need heading into the postseason.
Chris Finch, courtesy of Second Harvest Heartland and twoharvest.org. Finchie's on the board, so twoharvest.org if you'd like to help, that'd be cool. And I'm also Prize Picks. I mentioned it earlier in passing. You guys held the Celtics to 92 points. I mean, and it was Tatum, Brown, Derek White, so they got their NB3 there. What played into that? That was spectacular.
Well, I think, our on-ball defense, our one-on-one defense was really, really good. That's where it starts with Boston. They're just heavy ISO team with great players who can break you down and get their own shot and create for each other. And then that starts a chain reaction and usually leads to a high number of 3-point shots. So if you're really good there and don't give them second shot opportunities, you got a chance. And, we've got good one-on-one defenders that way. And, they took the challenge and they were outstanding.
How, Julius Randle, how does Julius respond to hard coaching? And I ask that because I know you guys go back years to your New Orleans days, and on this radio show and other places, you always have just voiced loudly that you love his game, you're quite fond of him, and you guys go far back. So when the coaching is hard with him, how does he respond?
He's great. I mean, he played for Calipari in college. Like, he's used to hard coaching. He played for Tibbs in New York. Like, these guys are truth tellers. And he wants that, I think, we're lucky in that regard, everything still remains. I do love his game. I know how important he is for us. He's extremely important. I thought he played really good the other day. Just didn't connect. His shot just didn't go in. But everything else we needed him to do, he did. He rebounded at a high level.
Yep.
He guarded at a high level. We still were able to generate offense through him. He stuck with it. He made big 3 down the stretch. He helped us close that game. And that's the way you want guys like your best players to respond. 9
rebounds at the Garden for Julius. Hey, I don't exactly know what the rules are here, Chris, but if I bring up a college player's name, can you talk about him?
I prefer not to.
All right. Well, let's go in code, because you just mentioned John Calipari. Well, I'm Paul Allen, so I'm PA. There are a lot of people in the world with initials DA. And they happen to be young, fresh into the scene. I mean, Calipari, let's just say, has some good players, doesn't he?
Right. Sure does. Yeah, I mean, I've been watching the tournament. I don't pay too much attention to college basketball throughout the season. I see it from time to time. As we get to this point, like the front office will, clue me in on some people to maybe watch, and or I'll certainly ask questions like, hey, tell me about this guy and that guy, and because it's a lot easier for me to watch basketball with these, the tournament games these times, because they're so high profile, and you know exactly where to find everybody. So
yeah, likewise. I mean, like if you have a nice shirt, you may have a cuff for your sleeve, and holy cow, I don't watch college basketball either, so a lot of this is new to me. And I'm like, holy cow with this kid. Anyway, 3-2. Chris Finch, Second Harvest Heartland Prize Picks. What did that Schengen triple-double at Chicago look like on film? I mean, the Bulls' defense ain't great, but still, despite losing, and you got Houston tonight, he chewed them up. Holy cow!
Well, I mean, he's a tremendously skilled player. I mean, he's an offensive system unto himself. He can score. He's got touch. He can shoot from inside, outside. He can pass. He's really good in the pocket when they give him the ball and against pressure at the top of the floor. It's funny, like the times that we've played them over the last few years, whoever kind of wins the matchup between him and Rudy has kind of won the game. So and he's a handful because he has a lot of game.
With the Rockets, Chris, with Amen Thompson, are they kind of like you guys? And I know Van Vliet's down for the year, but with Thompson, are they kind of like you guys in that they don't have a traditional point guard? And if so, how does that factor into the way they play?
Yeah, they're very much, they very much operate around a traditional point guard. But you can even extrapolate that out, like to Sengun is a primary playmaker for them as much as anything in the center of the floor, just the way that we use Julius. They have a potent scorer that commands a lot of attention and he gets the ball early in the offense all the time, just like Anthony does for us. That's obviously Durant I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then Thompson, he handles. He's like a one-man fast break. They do a really good job of playing him at the bottom of the floor in the dunker along the baseline. He's elite. I think the numbers will tell you he is the best offensive rebounding guard in the history of the game. So wow. He's just a force there. So the things that he can do well, he's elite at, even though he's not necessarily a true point guard. They use him in a very smart and strategic way.
And I'm glad you mentioned Durant. Julius and Durant had an epic scoring battle when you guys met a couple of months ago. Each went for 39. Yeah. KD shot 14 free throws that game. He's almost 38 years of age and still scores with the best of them, doesn't he?
Yeah. I mean, it's incredible to watch. Like, his game is extremely smooth and polished, and it just feels like every time he shoots it, it's going to go in. And that's, as a coach, it's kind of a crummy feeling because it feels like you can't really bother him all that much. He's just such great length, unbelievable touch. He makes hard shots look easy.
All right, last two here, ma'am. I appreciate you. Wolves and Rockets tonight, Target Center. Do you think the Rockets are going to play Hacka Rudy again this time? Hacka Gobert. He shot 10 free throws that January game. Sadly, he only made 2, and it really factored into the loss. You think they're going to do that tonight?
I don't know. We'll see. I mean, there's every chance. I think sometimes people wait to see how Rudy's been shooting them through the game before they decide to do that, but. Generally, most teams wrap Rudy up if he's around the basket and make him earn it from the free throw line.
After tonight, last one, only 3 left at home in the regular season. And from the Lakers down to the Rockets, with you guys in Denver in between, Joker had just a nasty triple-double last night. What an absolute battle it's going to be for the 3 and 4 spots and home court. What do you like about the way you guys are playing right now?
Well, I think for us, it's, our defense is really, it feels like it's really kind of found itself in terms of its consistency. We know what it's going to look like every time down the floor. I like that. I feel as I've felt all season, we're capable of winning anywhere against anybody, but, we're also capable of the opposite. So, but I think our focus has been pretty good right now. I think the Portland game, wasn't great. We struggled offensively there a little bit. We struggled to rebound, but everything else we did, I thought was kind of on point. It wasn't a game plan issue or anything like that. It wasn't like an execution issue. It was literally just had to go get the ball a little bit more when we made them miss shots. But if we can rebound like we did the other day against Boston, if we can do that consistently, we're going to be just fine.
Chris, have a great day and tear up the Rockets tonight. We'll talk next week.
All right, thanks, GA. Take care.
Finchy.
was a nice run.
Wasn't that good?
Got a vibe? I mean, you are a vibe, but do you got a vibe?
Always a vibe. No, I don't got a vibe for the closing segment of 9 to noon.
It's lunchtime. It's just lunchtime, isn't it?
It's always just lunchtime, though. Shout out to It's Just Lunch. The best matchmakers in the world. I almost said the state, but that would be cutting them a little short. They're the best matchmakers in the world, though.
Universe.
In the whole galaxy, the universe, multiverse, though.
You need the right date on Mars. Contact young Maxwell. He's got a little Martian to him. It's been great working with you the last couple of days. You know I always enjoy it. And I've mentioned It's Just Lunch a few times, because I know you endorse them. And I just think it's really cool, that you're not a card-carrying full-time member of the Core 4 Power Trip 9 to Noon program, bumper to bumper, and somebody gives you an opportunity, man. When people give people opportunities, I think that's great.
It's amazing, and honestly, shout out to It's Just Lunch, shout out to the Bridge Media Group, shout out to Abby, a member of our sales team that helped hook that for me, and it's been nothing but positivity with them, man. They're the best people. Getting a chance to kind of like how you do with Metro 4, doing an interview every month, and kind of shooting the breeze with them and seeing where they're at with the business and everything. They're the best people. So it's been a blast and truly an honor and a blessing to be endorsed by It's Just Lunch.
All right. The NFL draft is a month from tomorrow, 9 to noon. Probably should start focusing on it and talking about it a little more than we have one of these days. Yours truly operating at this stage of the equation, steam free. So therefore, in lemming-like fashion, following a lot of the online notifications and predictions and mocks and things like that, there is a Dylan Tieneman, who is he is a defensive back, a kind of a hybrid safety, but safety by trade for the Oregon Ducks. That's who most people think will be coming to the Minnesota Vikings. Young Maxwell offered a controversial nickname for Tieneman if he were drafted by the Vikings. Did so earlier in the show. Maybe it was yesterday. And he thinks Dylan Tieneman would be so good with the Minnesota Vikings that the secondary should be called Tieneman Square.
I always love that one.
Proby Bryant, though. I have steam. Just quickly, I have steam. Steam starting to roll in. Somebody has told me some things about Kenyon Sadiq, a tight end for Oregon, and I can't read the whole text. We don't have enough time, but it's like right mix of physical assets to become the focal point of a prolific passing game. And we have a good times-laden prolific passing game here. Kenyon Sadiq, tight end, Oregon, blocks his guts out at the point of attack, doesn't always display great hands, but when he reels the ball in, he might be the fastest tight end in football at any level. 4.3 40 at the combine. The comparison my guy's giving me with Kenyon Sadiq. Trey McBride, though. Something to keep in mind a month from tomorrow. Thank you, Max. Thanks to everybody for listening. May God bless you and all of your families. And I'm Paul Allen. Thank you for listening to 9 to Noon at FM 100.3 KFAN. The program is coming up next.
Podcast today's Paul Allen Show, or listen back to previous show and interviews by going to the iHeartRadio app or KFAN.com.